Hello and welcome to Excel Highway. In today's video I want to share with you a shopping list meal planner that I created in Google Sheets. The objective of this sheet is to help you pull data from ChatGPT for recipes, break it down into the ingredients, create a weekly meal plan each day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and break that down into the ingredients and the quantities you need to purchase in the supermarket. If that all sounds interesting to you, stick around and I'll walk you through how I did it step by step. The first step is creating the Google Sheets. In order to create a Google Sheets, what I usually do is I click on these in Chrome, I click on these, go to Sheets, click on blank spreadsheet, and that creates the spreadsheet. You can name it shopping list, whatever, and you have a new Google Sheet. Of course, you need a Gmail account for that, and hopefully you know how to do that. Once you have a Google Sheet, you can start following the steps in this video and create sheets for each of these as you see on the screen. The shopping list sheet, this is the sheet which will show you what you need to purchase. Let me zoom in a bit. Let's put it at 140 or even 150. Okay. So the shopping list sheet will show you what you need to purchase in the supermarket based on category, ingredient, unit of measure, and total amount, and it's sorted by the category. So you're in the bakery area, you can purchase everything at once, so it's easy to purchase. Plus you have a checkbox to mark if you've purchased this ingredient, and of course you could use it on your mobile phone. There's also a button here to clear all purchased. Once you mark that, it's just going to erase everything that you marked as purchase. The weekly menu is where you set up your weekly menu. Every day you can see Monday through Sunday, and here in this file there's already recipes for each day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You select the meal and the number of servings. For example, you can select a new one here. You can also type in something and it will find that word even if it's in the middle, like chicken. So you can see three different options. You just select that and it will populate the shopping list. Recipes, this is where you basically build your recipe database. This area is the actual input, and I use ChatGPT to generate the information. You can of course just do it manually or use ChatGPT as well, and there are a lot of columns here to basically work on the data and make sure it's ready for the shopping list. ChatGPT recipe and weekly menu. I used ChatGPT to generate this weekly menu and then use this sheet to basically create a sequence of how to just pull the recipes very easily. And I'll show you that in a second. The last sheet is the ingredients check. Each of this will check if the ingredient has more than one unit of measure or more than one category. And that's important because in the shopping list, if this ingredient like baking powder has two different categories like bread and bakery, you would see it as two separate lines, or if it had two unit of measures, or if it was spelled differently. So it's important to unify those three so everything appears under one total amount. Alright, I hope I got your curiosity, and let's continue. But before we go, please hit that subscribe button and you won't miss the next video. Alright, let's start. I'll open ChatGPT, log in, and show you how I built the prompts for everything. So first off, I want the weekly menu. So I just ask weekly family menu plan, 5 people, 2 parents, 3 children, aged 3, 6, 10, for example. And then you get this output, and I just copied it all the way to dinner. Control C, just paste it over here. Oh, I guess they changed the prompt a bit. Anyway, before it was showing like this, and I just added this formula using trim, mid, and search just to take out the breakfast out of the way. Eventually, I just wanted this, the actual recipe. Now here it actually gave me the recipe without the two brackets, so I would probably need to change the text here, or this could actually just be this, which is what I wanted. So regardless, I'm going to keep it this way, and whatever you get as a prompt, just make sure that column B has the recipe. Again, if you want to use my method. Over here in ChatGPT recipe, as you change the row number over here, two things happen. Number one, this is cleared. Number two, you get the recipe over here. How it works, very simple. You have offset to ChatGPT over here, and it just goes the number of rows you tell them and one column. So in this case, 2 rows, so it's the same. 3, next formula, whatever. Every time you get this, the prompt for ChatGPT, so it's ingredients for whatever's in A2, plus 4 servings, column for ingredient, unit of measure, amount, add quantities for meals, supermarket category, Google Sheets format, and that separator, just to make sure that it's in the right format that I built over here. You take this text, copy, paste it over here, and sometimes you get it this way, which is missing for some reason. Add supermarket category, and okay, add delimiter. I think that's what it means. Yeah, okay. This is the format that I need. I don't know why. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't do. Maybe I need to change this to delimiter in the text. Sheets and delimiter. I don't know if that's going to help, because now usually it just remembers the last prompt that I wanted, so it will do it. Okay, so anyway, it's supposed to look like this with these spaces. I click on copy code, go over here, paste it over here, and I get basically the format that I wanted. How it works, these are columns that just search for those spaces, search for that text in A starting from 1, and everything else will start from the previous found spacer. So basically it's going to catch all of the locations of the spacers, and then I just have to extract using mid. So I'm using mid, and then just between those spaces, so it's the space, and then the number between the spaces is the length of the text between, and just -2, I think, or 1, sorry, will just give me what I wanted. I always use trim just in case I have spaces, and I've added the if d is greater than 0 just so it's clean and just shows a blank if there's nothing here. And I do this for all of these, so you get all of them. Recipe is going to equal to recipe with a $sign as I drag it, and serving is just 4 as I use 4. You just need the number of servings because that's going to help you later on. One thing that's nice here is that, as you saw, when I change the number, it deletes the previous information, and I did that with a simple app script. So that's an extension, app scripts. I have here an onEdit function. That means that this runs whenever you change something, and I'm going to check using sh as the sheet. If the sheet name is shopping list, sorry, that's the second one. So if the sheet is ChatGPT recipe, which is this sheet, and the range column is 7 and the row is 2, so basically G2. Probably could have written it in a separate way, but I just had it already ready, so I just use it. If that's the case, so for that range, so for that sheet, that range A6 through, so 6 through all the way down. When you leave empty, it just goes all the way down. Clear content. That's it. Very simple, very easy, and that just clears the way. Otherwise, I would just have to go over here and delete, and just annoying. So I added that. So just sorry, let's do that again. Let's have another, just so you see another one. Okay, and I paste it over here, and the recipe. Oh, what did it do? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, granola yogurt. I had blank as the recipe. I don't know what it showed me. Copy code, paste. All right. Last step you need to do here is you take this range, Control C, go to recipes, all the way to the bottom, Control V, paste special values only. Now, as soon as you paste a recipe, you may see this column populate some information. Column G. So there are three types of information that you will see here. Either unify unit of measure, in case you have two unit of measures for the same ingredient. Unify category, double categories for that ingredient, or check amount. Let's just change the data slightly and you will see what I mean. 2 units. Okay, so first off, it tells me that the unit of measures is not ready for, not correct, sorry, not ready. And I like to sort, and because I'm using ChatGPT, sometimes it changes the unit of measure. You see, it gave me each and then it gave me medium. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to each, and then this goes away, but I do get a check amount because 2 units is not a number. I need this column to be a number. So those are okay now. Unify unit of measure, so you see cups with a capital, cups without a capital letter. And again, this is important because otherwise you'd have an issue. Unify category, so you have cereal granola, cereal granola. I took them both from ChatGPT. Also here you see that the yogurt here is spelled with a capital Y. Okay, so just if those three are not the same, they will have 2 different rows. Good, I'm going to remove what I did because it's the same recipe I already have, so we don't need it twice. Let's take a look of how this is achieved and what else is over here. So data issues, it's 3 ifs. I could have used the ifs function, but I just used a nested if. So if Q is yes, that's what I want the message to show, unify unit of measure. If P is yes, unify category. And if error for ingredient amount, then check amount. Alright, shopping list quantity, let's see that, look at that at the end. This is just helpful for me if the number like this, sometimes it has a divide text, so I just create this to search for it and convert it to a number using this function with left, mid, but actually I just recommend that you change it like so, which is easy, the easiest way to do it. And then the amount to number, this is just again to help in the case that I need to convert it to a number, but assuming you just change the amounts to a real number, not a text, you don't really need these two. Ingredient amount, that's going to be the number of servings, okay, times sorry, the shopping list serving times the unit amount to number, ingredient amount, sorry, wait a minute, sorry, I'm calculating it. Okay, so that's the actually what you need based on the recipe. So if the recipe is for 4 servings, you need half a, what is this, half a teaspoon for 4 servings. So 5 servings is basically 5 divided by 4 times 0.5, and that's how you calculate the ingredient amount. You'll notice I always use the if a is greater than 0, just so the lines are clean. I use these columns, category, ingredient, measure, which are basically the same as you saw on the left. Where am I? On the left, move that right. On the left side, just because it's helping me in later in the other sheets to pull the data. Multiple category and multiple unit of measure. That is going to check the values that I return over here and bring them here. And if those values are greater than 1, then that's going to be equal to a yes. So if VLOOKUP is greater than 1, yes, otherwise blank and blank if there's nothing here. So that's how this entire sheet is built. Last thing is the shopping list serving. It's a sum ifs for the weekly menu that we haven't talked about over here, which I'll show you how it's built, of course. Let's jump to the ingredients check. How is this built? Ingredients, unit of measure, and more than 1 unit of measure. I'm using 2 different techniques because here I can use this and here I have to use a pivot table. So I'm going to use sort unique recipes C through D. So recipes C through D, so these are adjacent. So I'm going to sort based on the first column if I don't mention it, and then unique on the combination. And what this will actually give me is all the combinations that exist for those two. And here I just have a simple count if for this to check if I have more than 1 row for that same ingredient. And if I do, I know that I have 2 unit of measures. And I don't even need to sort it because I'm not using anything here, but just visually I did it just so it helps. And by the way, you see that sometimes it's the same thing, right? Bell pepper and bell peppers, just the S and the small letter will change that, and especially if they have different unit of measure. So that's something that you probably need to fix. As you see it in your shopping list, you will just fix it. You will see that you have an issue. Here, because the supermarket category is not adjacent to the ingredient, I can't use the same trick because I would have to include the amount, which is different, and that would be an entire mess. So I just created a simple pivot table. If you don't know how to create a pivot table, it's a crucial thing for you to know. Really quick, I just mark all the columns, click on insert, pivot table, either new or existing sheet. I add in the ingredient as a row. I don't need totals. And I add in a unit of measure, supermarket, again, ingredient as a row, supermarket category as a row, no totals, repeat item label, and I have the names and the supermarket category, and I just add the same count if that I used before. Very simple, but it gives me a very accurate understanding if I have data issues, either with the unit of measure, the category, or the amount. So once I fix that, everything else will flow properly. So those 4 are the sheets that I use to build my database properly. Once you build this for how many recipes you need, the next steps are very easy to do. Go to weekly menu. Weekly menu is a weekly layout. You have the names of the days and you have the meals. So you have the meal name and the number of servings. You have a drop down list, very easy to do. Just click on data, data validation. I'll show you, a fresh one because go over here, data, data validation, add rule, drop down from range, I'm going to select a range. I have it here in the recipes. Go over here, A2 through A, without a final number, because that means it's going to pull up until the last row. Click on Done, and now I have a drop down list. The other thing that I do is here on the bottom, Advanced Options. I don't like that gray area, so I change this to arrow, and then you only see an error. And what's really great about this is it automatically sorts it and removes duplicates. So even though I have 6 or 8 lines for each of them, you only see it once. And what's even cooler, as I showed you, as you just type in whatever you want and it will populate it no matter where it's located. So that's how you create the drop down list. You can just copy it or change the apply to range, but I just like to copy it, and that's very easy. Serving is as a number, and that's how you build the schedule. Over here, as you saw, in order to pull the shopping list serving, which is what I want for my shopping list, because the layout here is easier for the user, sort of just like in your Outlook calendar where you have the days, but it's hard to pull the information because it's over here, it's 2 rows and then another row. So what I did, I used a trick with transpose and vstack. So transpose will convert the rows to columns. Let me show you. So I'm transposing each section at a time, so each 2 rows. So you see now it looks like a column. And then I'm using vstack. vstack, as the name implies, will stack columns vertically. So as I pull in the next transpose, the next group of rows is just going to pile it down to the bottom. And that's how, with a simple formula, I can just copy all the data over here. So no matter how many rows you add, I did it, all the way down, it will just appear on the bottom. So if I now add on the bottom here baked chicken with 99, there you have it, the last row. And of course, immediately as I delete it, it goes away. And immediately this is going to update this and update everything here, and that's going to populate our shopping list, which is our last step. The shopping list, one last thing, formatting wise, I like that alternating colors, so I select the range, click on format, alternating color, and then you can just play with it. I don't know why I just changed that to here. To range okay. Can delete. I do want to show you, so let's remove it. And I guess I did it twice, that's why I couldn't do it together. Alright, select that format, alternating colors, and then you can see you can just change how you see fit. You can change, of course, the header and colors and do whatever you want, and it's nice just so it's clear for the user what to do. Last part is the shopping list. Here also I used the alternating color. Okay. This will automatically pull the category, ingredient, unit of measure, total amount, and that's why I had it here, those 3 columns, so it's easy for me to use one function to pull all of them. And how I did it, I used 3 nested formulas here: filter, unique, and sort. So filter, which is this part, basically I'm filtering columns M2 through O without a last row for wherever the recipe is greater than 0, L. So for here, column L, if there's any ingredient greater than 0, just think of it as if I'm doing this, and I'm going to take everything here from row 2 till the last row. That brought me these 3 columns very nicely. Okay, I also wanted to apply the unique, because if I don't apply the unique, I will get, for example, salt, which appears many times. I would get salt um, 20 times for each time that it exists, and I won't be able to sum it, of course. And the last part that I did was sort after its duplicates have been removed using unique. I have a double sort, first for the column of the category, true meaning ascending, then for the second column, which is the ingredient, which is not a must. I mean, I just wanted to do it just so it looks nicer, but you don't have to, because you don't purchase based on the order of the ingredient. You do purchase based on the order of the categories. You're in the canned goods, you probably want to go ahead and pick up everything and not, spread it around. Lastly here, or not lastly, but moving forward, is the total amount. So total amount is a simple sum ifs for this column, and whenever those three apply to whatever exists, this should be here, whatever exists in the A, B, and C. So you get the total amount. So basically you have, I need 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder for everything here in my weekly menu. Now I may have it at home or not, but that's up to me. And then I can mark it as purchased. And once I mark it as purchased, I strike through that row. Adding this is easy. The checkbox, click on data, data validation, add rule, click on criteria all the way down to checkbox. That is it. Okay. And to change the conditional formatting, which is the strike through, you click on format conditional formatting, and you can see very simple custom. You select custom formula over here, right? You have the options, select custom formula if E with a dollar sign, because it should apply to all the columns compared to E. E2 is true, 1 or 0. I use this method, and if so, just make it as a strike through. Okay, and make sure the range is A2 through D. I just removed it, but then you can just remove it, and then it will just populate next time that it's that range. So it's going to work for all of them. And this is supposed to be something that you can do with your mobile phone, right? You could access this sheet on your mobile phone and do your shopping and mark whatever's purchased. As you finish the week, and you may change your weekly menu or not, doesn't matter. You can click on the clear all purchased, which will remove all the lines that you marked as purchased. And I again did that using the app script in the extensions over here. That's the first part of the on edit. So now it's checking if the shopping name, if the name of the sheet is shopping list, and now it should be column 8 and row number 1, which is exactly this, and also that the value is true. That's the only case I want this if to work. If that happens, then let's erase or set value, sorry, because it's a checkbox. So set value to be false for E2 all the way down, and also remove the checkbox from H1. Alright, so I've walked you through step by step of how I built this file. It's on using Google Sheets. Really quick recap. You create a weekly menu using ChatGPT. You use this sheet to convert those recipes back to a format that you can use. Paste those recipes over here on the bottom. Check if you have data issues and amend some of the data. You can see I still have some check amounts for things that I ignored them because they're not really clear. So you always need to look at the data issues as after you paste the recipe. Weekly menu is where you build your menu with the number of servings, and the shopping list is where you actually purchase what you need. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, press the like, and leave a comment. See you next time.